Hi guys, today we're going to continue working with exponents, and as you can tell, this is how we're going to be starting this unit off. Yesterday we reviewed over the basic rules, and today we're going to apply them to some problems that might require more than just one step. So we're going to start with these four, and I do have a fifth one at the bottom. Oops. All right, so we're going to start with these four, so go ahead and pause so then you can write these problems down because you do need to do that and write out these steps in order to be able to do your homework assignment. So please listen and follow. All right, so for this first problem, first we're going to see, do we have any like bases? No, we do not. X and Y are not the same, so we do not have like bases. But we do have a negative exponent, so we have to apply that rule. So since y is on the bottom of our fraction, it's going to flip to on top, okay? Now, this x does not have a negative base, so it's going to stay on top. So I'm going to have x to the power of 6 and y to the power of 4. And those are technically over 1. You can write that over 1, or you can just leave it like that. But that is all we do for that first problem. What's important with these is please do not move the base unless the exponent is negative. So just be careful that you don't accidentally flip more bases than you have to. All right, now we have this problem. So over here, we have some like bases, and we have different bases as well. So I see x is lined up first, so do we have any like bases? Yes, we do. We have another x. So we are multiplying. So what do we do when we multiply like bases? We add the exponents. So our base is x, and we're going to add 4 plus 2. And we get 6. All right, now we're going to look at our next base. We have y and y. We're multiplying, so we're going to add those bases, those exponents together, and we get y to the power of 8. We have no more like bases and nothing negative, so we are done with that problem. All right, now we're going to go to number 3. I'm going to write my answer below it because I don't really have that much room over to the side. All right, so here again, you have options. You could technically do some movement with those negatives, but I would recommend simplifying first and then moving if we have any negative answers. Because sometimes when you combine your values, you might not end up with a negative. So I prefer to add and then move if needed. So right here we're multiplying with our like bases, so we're going to add these exponents. With x, I'm going to have 3 plus negative 4. So we're going to end up with negative 1. Now we have our bases of y. So in this one, we're going to take negative 6 plus 3. And we end up with negative 3 as our answer. We have negative exponents, so we need to do one more step until we are done. These are technically in the numerator, so we're going to flip them to be in the denominator. So we're going to flip them to below the fraction. So we're going to have 1 over x to the power of 1 and y to the power of 3. You don't technically have to write that exponent of 1, but I like doing it since I had a negative 1 to start with. And that is our answer. Once again, we moved both bases because both of them had negative exponents. All right, on to this one. Okay, so with this one, we have division. So when we divide with like bases, you're going to subtract. You're always going to start with the number on top. So 14 minus 3 is 11. So we're going to have m to the power of 11. Now we're going to go on to our next bases. We have like bases of n. So we're going to take 6 minus 10. 6 minus 10 is negative 4. And so whenever we're doing these simplifying, we're just going to simplify what we have, and then we might need to make some movements. So we got a negative answer here, so that means we need to move our base of n to below the fraction bar. So technically these are on top, and we have to move that n to below. We do not move m because m has a positive exponent. So m to the power of 11 stays on top. Sorry these letters sound the same, so I apologize. Now n has a negative, so we're going to move n below and make it positive. And that is it for that problem. On to the last one. Oh no, it looks like there's so much going on. It's okay, we're fine. So on this problem, first let's see if we have any like bases. Then we'll do the flipping with the fractions, or not the fractions, with the negative exponents. All right, I see y has a like base. So, and that is the only pair of like bases that we have here. All right, so I'm going to take 3 minus negative 2. Since we're dividing, we're going to subtract the exponents. And 3 minus a negative 2 is a positive 5. So now I'm going to rewrite everything, except now I have y to the power of 5 on top. Y to the power of 5, z to the power of negative 1, and I have the z looking like that so it doesn't look like a 2. W to negative 2, x to positive 3. All right, now we have no more like bases, but we do have negative exponents, so we have to deal with that part. Also, hopefully you're listening, and I'm going to tell you what to do with your homework when I'm done with this problem. So please do not end this video before I am done with your instructions. Okay, so y is positive, so y to the power of 5 stays on top. Z has a negative, so we're going to move that to the bottom. Z to the power of positive 1 now. Now below we had w to the power of negative 2, so I'm going to move that to the top and make it positive. And then x to the power of positive 3 is going to stay down there because it's positive. And then we're done with that. All right, so now for your homework assignment, there's not going to be any problems listed for you to do. You are going to have these 5 answers as your homework answer, or your homework answers. So in your homework, it's going to say, what's the answer to number 1? Boom. You're going to click this answer. Then it's going to say, what's the answer to number 2 from your notes? You will select that answer. 3, 4, and 5. So your homework is to select the answers from these 5 examples. So hopefully you watch this. If you go to your homework, it's not going to make any sense. So please select these 5 answers for your homework. And you are done. So thank you and have a lovely rest of your day.